The general theme is how does it feel to be a hypocrite?
Right. Well, he sounds like a royal dirtbag.
I was wrong about something.
Magnificent! Magnificent! Magnificent!
If we can be with ourselves, if we can understand ourselves, we can love.
It's not my fault nobody can understand what you're saying.
Let's go while we're young.
3, 2, 1. Just introduce yourself and tell me what you ate for breakfast.
Hey, good morning. Matt here again on this wonderful Wednesday. And hashtag you. I see that I also screwed up. Apparently, I don't know what happened exactly, but the title today is They Were is what it's supposed to be. They were in your life to teach you, and not we in your life to teach you. I'm not sure quite how that happened, but it did. So here we are, me showing you how human I am again. It's an important thing to think about, that teaching people in our lives and whatever, and immediately you think about how negative it is and how it's somebody else's, like that they hurt you and that was the lesson or whatever else. But maybe it's something different than that too, and that's what we're going to explore today. So hey, hashtag you. If you've won before, I have a really cool story to tell you. So if you've won before, you can pass it on forward or whatever you can. Whatever you want to do with the gift, it's yours. Do whatever you want to with it. But here's what people have done. They've passed it on to someone else. Thank you so much for doing that. And today we have a sponsored gift. And that is either this shirt or the ladies' ocean blue here. Hopefully that comes across on the screen okay, or the red one for the gentleman. Someone was talking about their family was going to go camping for the first time, and I think it was the first weekend there in April or whatever, a week and a half away or whatever, and sent me a message yesterday, and they said, hey, we watch your show, and we want to buy a gift, and we want it to be the camping. We think that camping is something that people aren't doing as much anymore, and it's just kind of a fun thing for our family. So we want to give away a camping shirt. So thank you so much for that. So they bought a couple of shirts, and then they also sent me a Venmo to purchase today's gift for you. So thank you so much for doing that. It's much appreciated. That's a really great way to help support what I'm trying to do with Shiny Brand. So when I was, I don't remember my age, but when I was young and younger than I am now, I had a dog named Neb, and he was an incredible dog. And I'm not just saying that, right? Like everybody says they have an incredible dog. This guy was. I've never had a dog the same since. He was extremely strong. He was a junkyard dog, right? He was just a whole mix of whatever. But he was also like a complete pal, right? Like he wanted to be near you at anything he could do to be near you. And so I had built this tree fort. Well, one day I'm hanging out up in my tree fort, and we're not talking like a tree fort that's a couple feet off the ground. I'm talking like this tree fort was 16 feet or so off the ground up in these, like I literally used 3 of these massive trees and connected them. It's quite the deal. And no, I didn't get any help from my dad or any adult. Probably some suggestions, but at any rate, so this really cool place for me to hang out. And he just hated it though. So one day I'm up there hanging out in it, and all of a sudden, boom, he's jumping up on my lap. Well, he climbs the ladder and gets up in there. And this is how cool and amazing he was. But so the unfortunate thing is he died very young, and I was young, and that had happened. And, I was devastated, obviously. And I went to church a couple of days later, and my uncle approaches me and he says that, hey, I heard that your dog died, and and with all good intentions, he starts to really make me feel bad. And he said, that this happened for a reason, and this is going to prepare you for something that's coming up in the future. And I'm summarizing it, of course, but I didn't really want to hear that at the time, and things, but it's so true that every part of what we go through can either be there to teach us a lesson, or we can just toss it aside and not understand that it possibly had meaning. And I want to bring back this quote on this, that they were there, or they were in your life to teach you. In every encounter, we either give life or we drain it. There is no neutral exchange. And I think that's extremely powerful. Here's the real thing that I want to talk about, though, and be really, really honest with you about this. Maybe that you is you, right? Not maybe, I know it is. I know that I have been in people's life as a negative teaching moment for them. That's not been the intention, but it has happened. It is just a fact of life, and is a fact of reality. So oftentimes we're just, so it's so in our nature to just blame something else, somebody else, all of the time, and it's their fault, and that we had nothing to do with it. And it's just not true. It's not true, and it makes it harder for you to actually deal and cope with things if you don't understand that you were also part of that teaching moment in a negative way for someone's life, in someone's life. In that way, you drained their life. You did not actually give them life, and that's just the facts. It's, if you get to be an adult, that has absolutely happened. That is absolutely you. And I think when we can understand that negative part of the you, when we are that danger and that lesson and that negativity in someone's life, that draining part of someone's life, if we can understand that we're part of that, that will actually make us incredibly strong, and that will really open us up to see the positive things in negative situations. Because they are there. There are positive things in negative situations. There's not any difficult things that I go through in life now that I don't think about. When I was talked to, I felt like it was a devastating conversation to me, and I felt really bad and negative about it, but the intentions were really good and positive about it. And when I go through hardships, I think about that moment that my uncle was talking to me about, how that, death of my dog at a young age, and how close we were, and how, to me, how tragic that was, how powerful that truth was, that these things are here to help make us stronger, to make us better, as long as we can understand what they're there for, and all those things. Which then leads us to, what are you there for? Have you been that negative thing in someone's life? I'm not saying that, I'm not trying to call you out on it, but you have been. That's just a fact, a truth that exists. And it's something that if we look at it from a different angle, a different paradigm, a different lens, that we can then hopefully build up, our ego muscle a little bit. In other words, if we can build that muscle up, that means our ego gets smaller, and we understand that we're there to contribute in a negative way, that then allows us and opens us up to be a lot more positive. So hope that few minutes of getting into a very deep type of a subject makes sense to you this morning. And I want to leave you with this before we do the giveaway. There's been a lot of things in Shiny Brand and trying to build this up, and what this is. There's been a lot of negative things that have gone on and happened. Just because these things happen or just because I don't talk about them, I guess, doesn't mean that they don't happen. I just am choosing to look at some of the positive things. Whenever we're building something, we get criticism, we get people that are trying to stop us. And every time that something or some roadblock comes up, or a speed bump, or whatever you want to call it, that just is essentially more encouragement for me to know that, hey, this is the right path. This is making a positive impact in people's lives. And that's why the evil part of things and the evil part of life is trying to slow it down and stop it from happening. So I thank you for your support in all the ways that you can do that, whether that be, paying it forward by buying a shirt or whatever and giving it away as a gift. So with that said, here we go for the giveaway. Let's see what we have. All right. Congratulations. Alicia K is the winner. I'll send you a message and we'll get it figured out and get that sent off to you. So I hope that you all have a great Wednesday. I hope that this made sense, trying to get this in 10 minutes, and now it's 11 minutes. So we'll see you tomorrow morning at 6:30. Have a great day.
You know what I just saw?
Who is this guy?
I call myself Podcast because of my podcast.
I have exorcised the demons. This house is clear.
So it's done. It's done.